Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. Well, my name's Virgil, and I hear you're here for a story, so I guess I'll give you one. A long time ago, when I was still in high school and looking around at colleges, my mother, my cousin, and myself all decided we would go drive to the various colleges that my cousin and I had applied to. Which means there was a pretty direct route south. I had applied to Southern Illinois University. She had applied to Georgia Tech, which is in Atlanta, Georgia. And then we had some people that we wanted to see a little further south, so we kept driving that way. But the story doesn't follow the entire way down. It actually stops in Carbondale, Illinois, which is where Southern Illinois University is. We had driven down, and at the time I had a dog, and I was feeling a little sad. I missed my dog. You know, it's nice to have a companion with you at all times. But on the road, it's a bit hard to have a dog and go sleep at the hotel or the Motel 8. So we didn't take her with, as you'd imagine. We drive down and we got to Southern Illinois, Carbondale specifically. Saw the school, everything, had a good time, and decided we needed to relax from all this. Went to the mall to go buy Auntie Anne's pretzels, because we all know Auntie Anne's pretzels are the thing you need for when you really want to relax. Drove down that way to the mall, picked up some Auntie Anne's, and I saw out of the corner of my eye there was a small store. It was one of those hippie stores, you know, where they sold incense and tobacco pipes. But also they had hermit crabs, strangely enough. And I walked over to the hermit crab enclosure and looked down at them and picked one up. And it was this little creature. They look almost like spiders with a hard hat on. And it started crawling towards me as soon as I picked it up. And it just seemed like the most strangely compassionate creature that I've ever held in the palm of my hand. So I decided right then that I wanted a hermit crab. But I didn't buy one then, because we still had more places to go. Drove down to Georgia, then drove back up to Northern Illinois. When I got back, I was telling all my friends how much I wanted a hermit crab. So, one day, I was at a party, and my friend shows up. And she says, "Hey Virgil, look what I've got for you." And she takes out a hermit crab from her purse and gives it to me. It was a little hermit crab with an American flag painted shell, which I thought was pretty cool. And I named it Candace. And the two of us would hang out all the time. So, with this hermit crab, I bought a small fish tank, set it up with sand, some sponges for water, some hermit crab food and everything. And it was cool. And then my other friend said, "Hey, I'm getting rid of my fish tank. Do you want it?" And she had one of those 20, 30-gallon fish tanks that, you know, it feels like it goes 6 feet across and like 3 feet tall. Of course I want that. Please. So I took that, I filled it up with sand, made it this great hermit crab hangout. And Candace would come to parties with me. Or if I was going to hang out with people in general, I would take Candace with me because she was so good at being social. I'd put her on my shoulder, put her in my pocket. I mean, not just no skinny jeans, just like a front pocket or something. I'd take her out, and there she was hanging out. Put her on the shoulder, she'd hang out, eat pizza. She loved it all. And then I became kind of known as the hermit crab person, which is not a bad title. It's just an off title. It's different, which is fine because it led to great things. What I call the hermit crab army. Because I became known as the hermit crab person, people would think it would be funny to get me a hermit crab. Which means that the local store had a strange amount of hermit crab thefts going on to it. Probably more than have ever occurred in the history of the hermit crab. So, people would start knocking at the door at my parents' house. I'd be like, "Hey, is Virgil home?" "No? Okay, well, I have this hermit crab. Please give it to him." So I was like, "Okay, it's another hermit crab." And I take it, drop it in into the tank. And this happened again and again and again. And I had, I believe, 16 hermit crabs at the most. And they were comfortable in there too. It was a very big thing, and hermit crabs are very small. So it's not like They were uncomfortable. They having a great life. I had multiple things, like I would go to the pet store that my friend worked at, and whenever there was a defunct pet fish object, like a SpongeBob SquarePants pineapple house or some kind of pirate ship that was meant to be sunken at the bottom of the fish tank, would take it and put it in the fish tank. The hermit crabs would crawl all over it, go on top of it, go inside of it, hang out. And you know, you had half the tank that had the special hermit crab food bowl, because you know, you got to make sure that they're okay, which they would eat occasionally. And then you had the other half that was full of like pizza and hot dogs and hamburgers and stuff like that, which didn't last very long because apparently hermit crabs have taste buds. News to me. And they have a good taste, you could say. So, this hermit crab army went on for about 3/4 of a year. It happened very quickly, and I would take the hermit crabs out, take them all out individually, put them on the floor of my room, stuff a towel underneath the door so they couldn't escape, and then they'd hang out and, you know, just crawl around. And this would go on until I decided I was going to sleep, and then came the next painstaking hour of finding every hermit crab and praying to God that you didn't hear a crunch underneath your foot, which never happened. But with the year dwindling down, I eventually had to get rid of the hermit crabs because I was moving into a dorm with a stranger. Well, first of all, pets weren't allowed, and second off, you don't really want to move into a totally strange area with 16 hermit crabs and telling the person, "This is my army. Please love them as much as I do." So, with my friends all going off to college, and many people I know going off to college, I decided that every single going away party I went to, I would give them a gift of a hermit crab. It came with a small hermit crab tank, a hermit crab food, hermit crab sponges, a little hermit crab hut. And most people that I had known, that I was friends with, had gotten to know the hermit crabs in one way or another, because I would take, you know, usually Candace with me, but every now and then I would take a different hermit crab, and they would come to parties or to hang out with people. So everyone kind of knew the hermit crabs, and like they really enjoyed them for the strange creatures they are. And so about 16 different people I know left for college with hermit crabs tucked under their arm with glee and joy, ready to start this new school year, this whole new chapter of their life with a hermit crab along with them. And in the end, I had this giant tank before college started, and it was a sad time. It was just Candace, my OG hermit crab, and myself. Candace was the one with the American flag, and she was a beautiful hermit crab. I had spent more time with her than I've spent with most of my pets, which is strange because they don't really come to you when you call their name. But that being said, I knew that Candace would have to go somewhere good, even though I knew I couldn't take her with me. So my friend, who has been doing cross-country traveling in his almost broken down RV since the first time I met him when I was 17 and he was about 24, 25, I gave it to him. He had known her too. She had gone to shows that he had played at. She had been on stage while he was playing guitar on stage. And so, with that, she found a home in his RV, which he was very excited about. He loved Candace just as much as I did, and he took her on the road. And I still sometimes get the occasional picture of Candace hanging out with him on stage or in the RV with him. And that's the story of the Hermit Crab Army. Thank you. Good night.